everyone. All right. We're gonna wait a moment just to see who else joins. I had the advantage of being able to assign most people because I made the breakout room. So, I just had our cohort assigned, but not everyone. So we'll just give it, let me just look at the extra people. Okay, I think we're good. Okay. Hi. That's so nice to see everyone's faces. I haven't gotten to meet everyone's parents or anyone else. Like I've met a few of your parents, but not everyone. And so it's just nice to be in this space with all of you. Thank you to parents, anyone else who supported you. Thank you for letting me spend time with your kids, with your teens for the last not 10 months, 9 months, however long it's been a long time. Whether that was for 2 hours every month or on phone calls or at retreats. I feel incredibly blessed to have spent the time and to learn from everyone on the screen. You look at a teen and I learn from them. I really just, yeah, every year it gets better and it is true. So amazing. So we're going to start. I sent the list to everyone. Everyone knows who's going, but I'll just say, hey, blah, blah, you're going next. So we've got Catriella and Frida who are going to share. Some folks are going to be sharing about their project. Some are going to be sharing about their experience in Kol Koleinu. Everyone is going to share wonderful things. I'm not worried at all. It's going to be great. So Catriella and Frida, if you'd like to go first, and everyone, 3 minutes are talking about their project and 1 minute if they're going to share their experience. Go for it. Oh, I'm going to spotlight you both if I can. Nope, I can't. So go ahead.
Hello, everyone. So we're going to start off by talking about what our goals for our project are and why we did it. One moment. So when we were initially exploring what topic we want to do a project about, we noticed in our discussions between the two of us and our mentor, M, that there was a lack of knowledge and understanding surrounding certain groups and language in our communities. This specifically translated to our experiences when interacting with the LGBTQ plus community and how people sometimes said things about that they weren't really the right things to say. So we noticed this issue, and while we were talking about it, we decided that that's what we should do our project about. So with the resource guide that we created, we hope to elevate our peers' voices and experiences while also educating those who don't feel that they have the language and tools they need to have conversations surrounding LGBTQ plus topics.
So to research for this guide, we created and distributed a survey that asked our peers about their relationship with LGBTQ plus language. And for the most part, our responses were really thoughtful and honestly eye-opening. We did get one really homophobic response, which we ended up deleting, but it inspired a really great conversation among our group. So we wanted to do a survey instead of other types of research because it's more personal and can reach out to more people. Even though we ended up using other outside information, the form gives our peers a space to share their experiences, which better influenced our final product. So we sent the form out to a lot of our friends and peers through group chats. We posted on social media, and in the end, we got 35 responses. So I'm just going to share my screen really quickly, just to show you. No, I don't know if I can share my screen. I don't think that. Oh, I can. Okay, we're good. So this was our survey. So we essentially just asked people like basic information, and all of it was optional. And it was just like identity information. And then we asked people to check off any terms that they were not familiar with. Um, and then we asked them to share any definitions or experiences they had with any of the terms above. And then we asked them for techniques for how they learned about LGBTQ like culture and terms. And then we asked a lot of questions about safe spaces and what it feels like and what contributes to it.
So with the results that we got from that survey, we created this final project, which I'm also going to screen share in one moment. So we pretty much took the answers that we got from there and put them into a resource guide that we can distribute for speaking with positive LGBTQ plus language. One moment. Here we go. Okay. It's loading. Okay. I can talk while it loads. So we created this guide in a format so that it would be easily distributed and used to educate individuals and communities. What is it? Individuals and communities.
Share it, Tatiana?
Yeah, can you share it? It's not loading
Yeah.
for some reason. Okay.
Yeah.
I had it up. Okay, so
Okay.
okay. We also wanted to go beyond education, providing people with tips on how they can combat anti-LGBTQ plus speech and bring acceptance into their own communities and daily lives. So this is our guide. So first we had some LGBTQ plus terms to know, and we also included what percent of the people who took our survey knew those terms to show like which terms people aren't as familiar with. And then this part's really interesting. Since we asked people what was a safe space to them, we created this. So we had the overarching themes that we saw, like that people wanted there to be no judgment, that it's a space that people don't have pressure to share, but they can share if they want to. And under there are direct quotes from the answers from our survey. But we got some really thoughtful responses for that. So unfortunately, we had the section about asking people what their experiences were that were negative, targeted at the LGBTQ plus community. So 77% said that they had a safe space, but also 76% said that they'd been in a negative space. So what we created here was a few basic tips on how to prevent that, like always keep an open mind and be willing to talk. So, and then it's a compact format, but also a way that people can easily use for this purpose.
Yeah. So we are really, oh, sorry. We are really proud of creating a resource that we hope will lead to more understanding and awareness of LGBTQ plus culture and experiences. In the future, we are hoping to be able to send this guide out to Keshet, which is a Jewish LGBTQ plus organization that advocates for equality. And we're hoping that they'll help us distribute the guide as well as the fact that we'll send it out to local groups and organizations in our own communities. So we'll put the link in the chat so everyone can look at the guide. And feel free to distribute it. We want it to reach as many people as possible. So special thanks to our mentor, Bestoff. I don't think that they're on this call with us, but was an incredibly supportive and thoughtful mentor throughout the process of our project. And somehow they stayed amazingly patient and kind, even during our really late night calls, trying to finish everything up. And we could not have asked for a better mentor. So thank you.
Thank you, Catriella and Frida. So great. You'll see so many other examples of things that have been made by teens with teens input, for teens and beyond. So thank you for creating that, and please put it in the chat if you haven't already, so everyone can see it. Serena, you're gonna go next.
Hi, I'm Serena. So for my project, I focused on period supplies insecurity. So 2 in 5 people struggled to purchase menstrual products, a 35% increase from the study's original research in 2018. Learning about the lack of low-cost and no-cost period supplies available for low-income girls, I decided to focus on my Kol Koleinu social change project on building awareness of the problem. I spoke to groups of teenage girls and organized a period supplies drive that collected over 50 boxes of period supplies for a local nonprofit, Mitzvah Circle. I know that Mitzvah Circle has the distribution channels to get these collected items in the hands of those who need it as they support families in crisis with immediate support. I coached 2 girls volleyball teams through TNT volleyball, and I aim to help their confidence on and off the court. But I also want to inspire confidence in the girls in other ways. I thought that along with the 200 plus other girls who participate in TNT clubs, would be the perfect audience to help with this issue and tackle the problem with the collection drive. I got permission from the volleyball club's director to speak to each of the teams at the club and set up a collection bin at the facility. I prepared and delivered a presentation including data and impact of affordability in period supplies to more than 10 different volleyball teams. My data included statistics like, did you know, according to a national survey of 1,000 menstruating teens, 4 in 5 girls either missed or knew someone who missed class because they did not have access to period supplies. Then I set up a 2-week collection for pads and tampons by putting collection bins in the practice facility and decorating them with colorful messages to inspire and further educate the girls on how their donation would positively impact the problem. Specifically with my team, I followed up with text messages with reminders about the collection. Well, I believe my efforts did increase awareness of the severity and impact of the crisis and provided girls support to local girls in need. I hoped more girls would have been engaged in the conversation with me about the crisis and would have donated more supplies. I realized that it can be difficult, despite like my own passion for something, to energize other people into action. But it's something that I'd like to work on in the future. And just like overall, like people living below the poverty line miss school and work, falling behind their peers because they cannot afford the basic period supplies. And I encourage all of you to donate period supplies to your local nonprofit who collects them for families in need.
Thanks, Serena. You educated so many people, so many teens in the process. And I think that is such a powerful thing that you were able to do. And I call that success right there. So thank you for doing what you did. And we will, who's next? Noah is next.
Hi, everyone. So Kol Koleinu and the opportunities it has afforded me have absolutely changed my life. And the largest aspect of which was founding the board. And you heard a little bit a couple of moments ago about some of the work we do, but I actually want to give you a little bit of background on its founding. So this board became a passion project of mine that actually stemmed from an existential crisis that I was thrown into after Roe v. Wade was overturned. Kol Koleinu gave me the community, the space, and really the support to use that motivation and that confusion to create meaningful change. Really think this just shows how incredibly unique Kol Koleinu is and how much it values its teens and highlights teen voices. And I can say that after my 2 years here, I have grown into myself in ways that would have never been possible without the support of everyone at Kol Koleinu. And I want to close and say that I have been so inspired by the work that all of our cohort has done. You've only heard 2 of our social change projects, but keep listening because you will just become more in awe of the teens in this breakout room as you hear. And I am so lucky to have had the chance to work with all of them and to be a part of such a meaningful community.
Thanks, Noah. Mazel tov. And thanks for not just sitting around after and doing something about it. So I know we all benefit and we will all continue to benefit from the work that you've been doing with the team board. Riley.
Hi. So my experience with Kol Koleinu throughout this program, I've been able to meet with other like-minded people who share similar ideas to me. And at the same time, I've been able to be exposed to people who may have different perspectives on different issues. And with both those in mind, I feel like I've been better able to craft an understanding of the world around me through these interactions with all of you amazing people over the Zoom screens. And it's really great to know that there are other people who also want to work towards and implement change. Kol Koleinu has allowed me to be able to connect with others to share experiences and work together to create a more inclusive future. Something I learned about activism with this group is that there's no certain way to look at it. Everyone can go about it in different ways and still make a difference. And there's like endless opportunity to create change. And I just also wanted to further congratulate everyone else in the cohort for making it to the end of the year.
Great. Thanks, Riley. Thanks for being present, for bringing what you've learned to your life, and then bringing, you know, yourself to our screen every month. It's just been really wonderful. Ari, you are next.
Hi, I'm Ari, and I actually was inspired to do my project because so there's a synagogue near me where I had my bar mitzvah, and it's called Romemu, but they're not just a synagogue, they also do a lot of sort of social action stuff, and they have a community kitchen. So I was volunteering there, and one day, about maybe a year ago, we made like extra meals specifically for a group of migrant families, refugees from Latin America who were in the area. And as I talked to people there, I realized that, you know, there were a couple initiatives designed to help them, like gathering clothing, and this kind of meal prep. But I was wondering if there was something more I could do to add to that initiative. And so while working in Kol Koleinu, I came up with the idea to start a childcare program and like English lessons and interactive play for the children of these refugee families while their parents were busy. And honestly, it was just like a lot more sort of emailing around than I expected. But I eventually found this man who teaches adult classes. So I partner with him, and twice a week we have 2-hour sessions where he teaches adult English as a second language classes. And I run an initiative where high school volunteers, supervised by a mandated reporter, work with the children of these families. And we've got kids who've had all kinds of different experiences, different levels of English, different ages. Our youngest is 5 months old, and our oldest is 14. Some of them speak literally not 5 words of English. Some of them speak it pretty well. So it's really quite a range. And we have high school volunteers working in like not like one volunteer with a big group of kids, but like in pretty close to one-on-one ratios, so that these kids really get like specific attention. And we work with them, we meet them where they're at. We do a lot of sort of like interactive play with the younger ones, like coloring. We and you know, like little English lessons incorporated, because the goal is sort of to provide childcare for these often single mothers who are working long days and then coming at like 8 or 9 p.m. to these classes to learn English. And so we're really trying to help them out, let them have this childcare so that they can focus on their classes, get a little break after all this work, and also to give the children a good experience, to give them a chance to socialize with each other, to learn some English, to play, to develop relationships with the volunteers, and really to tell their stories, because a lot of these people are sort of, they came over very recently and they haven't really found much of a community yet. And of course, there's the language barrier, even though I'm in New York and a lot of people speak Spanish. They just are sort of developing this community. So it's a really great place where they can sort of like meet each other, share their experiences, and the children get some time to play with each other. The mothers get some relief. And actually, I've gotten a lot of help even from some people here. Like Hillel has been really awesome. She's been helping me brainstorm ways to improve it and given like fantastic advice. And my mentor, Hannah, I think is also here. She works in a very similar capacity professionally, and she's given me fantastic advice on how to form the program. And I found like many more sort of like mentors and people willing to help go above and beyond, even outside of the Kol Koleinu community. And it's been like a really wonderful experience connecting to all these other people who are so interested and willing to help and have so much knowledge to share with me. I've worked with like former teachers to plan lessons for the kids. And the man who runs the adult classes was so willing to like let me join his initiative. And it's just been like a really incredible experience. I spoke to the PTA at my school, and a lot of parents at my high school stepped up to make donations of their old kids stuff for these kids to use. Like it's been a really incredible connecting experience, and it's still ongoing. We're winding down pretty soon for the end of the year, and it'll stop over the summer, but we're starting up again next year, and it's going to run through the school year. We're starting some new initiatives. I've been reaching out to schools in the area, like middle schools and elementary schools, that have been absorbing a lot of the kids of these migrant families, letting them know that this is an option for the whole family. So we're starting, like, in addition to the childcare, like bilingual tutoring, and especially for the kids who have are still quite young but have like actually remember immigrating. We're starting this little project where I'm working with a child psychiatrist to come up with a list of questions to prompt them to talk about their experience. So a volunteer would like, or two volunteers would work one-on-one with these kids for a number of weeks or months, really get to know them. And over that time, they, sort of open up, get to talk about their experience, and make a little picture book that talks about their experience, with writing in Spanish and English telling their story, and they would do the coloring for it. And so hopefully that'll give them something like a way to talk about their experience and a tangible possession they can have to take away from the session. So it's just been like, it's been a really incredible opportunity to make to like tangibly help out in my community with these people coming, and also to connect to a lot of other people who also really want to help. It's been incredible.
Wow. And Ari actually has, I think, a session right now, right?
So sadly, David, the man who runs the adult classes, had a funeral to go to today. So today's session got moved to Wednesday and Thursday evening. But yes, I've actually missed the last couple Kol Koleinu meetings with my cohort because they run after the parents of these families have work. So Sunday and Monday evenings.
Well, we're very grateful.
It's incredible that a lot of my volunteers are high schoolers. So I really appreciate them taking the time, after their days too, to come and volunteer in the evening with these kids.
I was able to see what the process that Ari went through before, like just making sure, like, is this the right thing? And it was really interesting to be able to see how he wanted to make sure, like, this is what is needed and this is what's going to happen. And it's developed even more since those initial email, like, really developed. So Ari, mazel tov.
Yeah, we've been trying to sort of incorporate feedback from the community on what they need. I'm trying now to partner. The food kitchen that I mentioned where I started volunteering runs right before us on Sundays. So I'm trying to get them to set some meals aside so that we can have like hot meals for the people coming, because a lot of them are in shelters with like maybe a communal microwave at best. They don't really get that many hot meals. We're really trying to sort of adjust to meet the need.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Ari. Really, thank you. Okay. Emily, you're next.
So I think I'm going to be talking about kind of when I realized that this fellowship was going to be something so meaningful to me, and kind of really impact not only my junior year of high school, but my outlook on my Jewish feminist identity as a whole. I remember getting ready to go up to our Labor Day retreat and being absolutely terrified that I was about to go to a stranger's house with a bunch of other strangers, and I had absolutely no idea what I should be expecting. So I remember getting on the train alone and riding up, and immediately when I got off the train, Hillel and Noah, our two amazing returning fellows, were both there to greet me. And they seemed pretty normal, which I was really excited about, because the world of teen advocates is a really scary world and one that is not very highly populated. And I remember spending the whole weekend talking to people and realizing that caring about the world did not make me weird and did not make me overly involved or just trying to suck up to all the adults in my life. And that seeking to create change was actually something I had in common with each and every single member of our cohort. And I remember on the train ride home, just being amazed by everything I learned. And I sat on the train ride home with Noah, and we just talked about all of the different things that we've done at our individual schools and at our communities, in order to really create tangible change. And it has inspired me to join Noah's amazing teen board that she created, and continue to figure out what is next on this journey of advocacy and how I can really embrace it and also encourage others to participate.
Thank you for taking the chance and coming to my house and sleeping on my floor and being able to make those connections and just grow and bring your full self, Emily. Thank you. I know, thinking that, I was like, what's next year going to look like? People going to sleep on my floor again? This time I have a bathroom in my basement. So, maybe people will still sleep on my floor. Great. Thank you, Emily. Rosie, you're next.
Hi, everyone. Okay, so I'm going to talk about my social change project, which I worked on with Amelia, who cannot be here tonight. So we were focusing on period poverty and the impacts it leaves on, especially young people, but people in general, who have periods. So it took a while to figure out, but what we ended up doing was we created this sort of flyer that we would hang up in our local, our schools or synagogues, community centers, places like that, that would just have a lot of information that would be very necessary for people of all genders to hear about period poverty and its impact. So it was a lot of statistics and like infographics and stuff like that and important knowledge. And at the bottom of it, there was a QR code to a handy little link tree that I made, and I'm going to share it on screen because I'm very proud of it. Give me a second. Okay. Can you guys see the bright pink? Yeah. Okay. Cool. So this is the link tree I made that was at the bottom of our thing. It's a really lovely shade of bubblegum. And it has a bunch of sections with sort of more information that I put in. So there's stuff about more organizations that are raising awareness on this issue. So obviously Planned Parenthood, a really cool organization called I Support the Girls, and a few others. And we were really talking about how important it was to like go straight to government officials in order to like change legislation if needed or create legislation if needed. So we had a whole section on contacting your government officials, so your governor, your senators, your representatives, and like some guides to writing to your government officials or calling them, because it's really, really important to directly contact the people who are representing you in your state government or in the federal government so that your voices are heard. So like I can show it to you. You can find your state. Living in Pennsylvania means you have to scroll. And it takes you straight to the website. It might take a little bit. Give it a second. But anyway, I think this just like, all right, that might not work. This just list of additional information will be really, really helpful on our flyer. There's also some more additional info. So I learned a lot from working on this project, especially because like I personally like struggle a lot with time management and procrastinating and stuff like that. And as it turned out, so did Amelia. So it took a lot of hard work for us to like actually sit down and get this done. And I learned a lot from doing it. The flyers have actually still not gone up. But hopefully they will. I am graduating in a month, so we'll see if I have the time. But yeah, I just want to thank our mentor, Sasha Block, who is so wonderful and supportive and very patient with all of our busyness and forgetting to do things and stuff like that. She was really, really kind and supportive and amazing. So yeah, I'm going to put a link to the link tree in the chat.
Thanks, Rosie. Wow. Yeah, I think, as Ari said, that was awesome. What an important, really important thing to be creating for other folks. So thank you for sharing that link. Hope everybody click it now when you look at it later. Please do that. Great. Okay. And Haleli.
Hi. Okay. Wow. I don't know where to start. Kol Koleinu has been my home for the past 2 years. It's really been everything. It's been a support system from peers to mentors. It's been a place where I learned to lead, to discuss, to take action. It's been a place that really embraces nuance, difficult conversations, and tangible change. It's brought me close friends, amazing memories, amazing opportunities, and so much more. I could speak for so long on my social change projects, the amazing website I got to create with Noah last year, the discussion protocol and work created with Cameron this year surrounding achievement culture, the work that Ashley, our mentor, helped us do, the ways in which she encouraged me to breathe and take time for myself in a way that I really hadn't accepted. Kol Koleinu has been really healing. It's been a place for me to reassess some of my priorities, make sure that I am thinking of myself, thinking of others, and committed to learning and to growth perpetually. I've had the pleasure of being a returning fellow, working with Jen and the other returning fellows in that capacity, and getting this whole other angle to the cohorts. I have also had the pleasure of being on NOAA's teen board and really learned what it means to conduct myself around nonprofits, to write proposals and to hold official meetings and to advocate and to amplify others' voices. And I really could go on, and I'm conscious of time here, but I really don't know where to go from Kol Koleinu. The bar has been set too. Oh, and a huge thank you to Paige.
Thanks, Haleli. Thank you for your presence, for just, being so supportive of me throughout the year. And that goes for Noah too, of course, as our returning fellows. And Halel, being able to work with you last year, right at the end of the year on the retreat, and then really get to work with you this year was a blessing. So thank you for being a part of our community and bringing an extra, everything else you brought to being a returning fellow. So that concludes everything. I am, again, so grateful. I think we should just do a good round of applause, some cheers for everyone, for this amazing group, those who are here, those who are unable to be here, whether it was a Taylor Swift concert or something else that was going on. That happens sometimes. We let that happen. But thank you. Again, thank you, parents, grandparents, to supporters and mentors, everyone, for letting me spend time with these amazing teens. So this is the end of our formal celebration. There are two other things. One is family and friends are welcome to stay on and to have an informal conversation with Tamara Cohen, who you learned from earlier, just about the impact of Kol Koleinu. Share what you want, learn from each other. If you want to do that, you can click the leave room and then just leave breakout room, not the whole thing. Otherwise, you'll be kicked out of the whole the whole Zoom. And fellows, you are invited to join the post-event Zoom, which you should have in your email, just to hang out, keep celebrating, reconnect. And that is all. So thank you so much. Have a great summer, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Paige.
Thank you, Paige. Thank you, Paige.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Paige.
Thank you so much.